When Sylvester Stallone steps into the ring, even late-night hosts aren't safe. Jimmy Kimmel thought he could crack a few jokes about Stallone and get away with it. Big mistake. Stallone hit back with a response that didn't just clap back, it shattered Kimmel's image. He didn't just respond. He went for the knockout, calling out the hypocrisy and arrogance that's taken over late-night television. And trust me, Kimmel felt every bit of it. It all started when Kimmel, known for his sharp and sometimes mean-spirited humor, decided to take a shot at Stallone over his support for Donald Trump. Now, whether or not you like Trump,
nobody in the world could have pulled off what he pulled off, so
one thing's certain, making fun of someone just because they have a different opinion is a cheap move. But Kimmel didn't stop there. During one of his monologues, Kimmel referenced a recent event where Stallone praised Trump, even comparing him to George Washington. Rather than having a serious discussion, Kimmel went straight for the punchline. With his usual sarcasm, he said, "George Washington was the father of our country. Donald Trump is the father of Eric. Big difference." Basically, he implied, Stallone was out of touch or just blindly praising Trump without thinking, and he still wasn't done. Kimmel took another swipe, this time at Stallone himself. He joked about how Stallone's years of playing Rocky might have affected his brain.
When George Washington defended his country, he had no idea that he was going to change the world. Guess what? We got the second George Washington. Congratulations!
I guess those punches Rocky took to the head were real after all, Kimmel said, mocking a man who built his career on inspiring millions. Bad move. At first, it seemed like just another night in late-night comedy, but Kimmel underestimated his target. He probably thought Stallone would laugh it off or ignore it. Wrong. Stallone didn't get to where he is by backing down, and he wasn't about to start now. Still, he could have taken the safe Hollywood route, ignoring it, issuing a polite statement, or maybe even making a generic joke in response. But this is Stallone. He doesn't play it safe. Instead of staying quiet, he took to social media and fired back with the perfect mix of humor, sarcasm, and cold, hard facts.
I guess those punches Rocky took to the head were real after all. George Washington was the father of our country. Donald Trump is the father of Eric. Big difference there.
He started with that classic Stallone wit. Does it bother me? Nah. Does it burn into my memory like a horrible scar? Nah, well, maybe just a little bit. Right away, you could tell he wasn't angry, just disappointed. And when someone like Stallone calls you out, you know you messed up. He continued, "Hey, my big muscular friend, I saw you the other night on Jimmy Kimmel, kind of making fun of me." But then, he flipped the script. Stallone reminded everyone that while Kimmel sits behind a desk mocking people, he actually creates. And then, he dropped a joke that left everyone laughing. "I've decided to write a sequel for you called Stop, or Your Grandmother Will Beat Your Ass." A perfect reference to his 1992 film Stop. Or My Mom Will Shoot, a movie Kimmel had mocked in the past. This is what makes Stallone different. He didn't just throw insults back. He turned the whole moment into something bigger.
Okay, my big muscular friend, I saw you the other night on Jimmy Kimmel, kind of making fun of me.
Instead of just defending himself, he pointed out a bigger issue. How late-night hosts have become predictable, unoriginal, and desperate for laughs. And he didn't stop there. In interviews and podcasts afterwards, he talked about something even more serious, the growing problem of censorship in Hollywood. He said it straight. Hollywood used to be about pushing limits. Now it feels like those limits are shrinking. Artistry is being replaced by whatever's trending, and if you don't follow the script, you're out. He even pointed out that some of the movies he starred in probably wouldn't even get made today because of how restrictive everything has become. So, while Kimmel thought he was just having a laugh at Stallone's expense, he ended up exposing something much bigger, the way late-night TV has lost its edge, and how Hollywood isn't as fearless as it used to be. Stallone didn't just speak for himself. He spoke for everyone who doesn't fit Hollywood's perfect image. He called them out without hesitation, and people felt that. Then came the real shocker. Reports surfaced that Jimmy Kimmel's team tried to get Stallone on his show, but only if they could control the conversation. Stallone shut that down immediately. He made it clear, "I don't need a staged conversation to make my point. If we can't have a real discussion, then what's the point? That was it. Game over. If Kimmel thought he was going to come out of this looking clever,
I mean, life by the seat of the pants, going with your gut instinct, is over. For example, when Rocky would never be made today.
The internet took sides fast and it wasn't even close. Team Stallone dominated. Fans flooded social media, applauding him for standing his ground. People loved that he didn't just ignore Kimmel's comments. He turned them into a statement about a bigger problem in Hollywood. One tweet went viral, perfectly summing it up. Jimmy Kimmel can joke all he wants, but Stallone made movies that defined Hollywood. He deserves more respect than this. And here's the best part. Stallone didn't just win online. He was winning in real life too. His reality show, The Family Stallone, was taking off, gaining huge popularity. Unlike the scripted stuff on late-night shows, his series showed him as a dad, a husband, and a genuine guy. People weren't just watching it, they loved it. Clips from the show flooded TikTok, Instagram, and YouTube, with fans sharing their favorite moments. Some were hilarious dad jokes, others showed his deep, thoughtful takes on life and success. One comment stood out: "Stallone is the real deal. Hollywood needs more like him." Meanwhile, Kimmel wasn't doing so great. His ratings took a hit, and people started asking if late-night TV even made sense anymore. More and more viewers were turning to podcasts, YouTube, and independent media. Scripted talk shows like Jimmy Kimmel Live were starting to feel outdated. Stallone, on the other hand, proved again that being genuine beats manufactured controversy any day. People can tell when a joke is just a cheap shot to get laughs instead of something actually funny. Kimmel's attempt to mock Stallone backfired. Big time. Instead of making Stallone look bad, he ended up making himself look petty. And let's be honest, Kimmel's jokes aren't exactly unpredictable. He follows the same formula every time. Find someone who doesn't align with Hollywood's narrative. Make a joke at their expense. Wait for the audience to clap and move on. It's not about having a real discussion, it's about pushing an agenda. And people are getting tired of it. Even big names like Megyn Kelly have spoken out about him, calling him out directly. She even brought up the fact that Kimmel had a full-on meltdown over this, which says a lot. But the real problem with Kimmel isn't just that his jokes are weak. It's that he doesn't seem interested in having honest conversations. Think about it. When was the last time you saw a guest on his show who challenged his views and he actually let them talk? All he does is slam Trump and anyone who supports him. Instead of bringing Stallone on for a real conversation, Kimmel and his team apparently blocked him from appearing at all. Yep, you heard that right. Reports say Kimmel and his producers were worried Stallone might actually speak his mind about what's happening in Hollywood right now. So instead of giving him a platform, they shut him out completely. That's not comedy. That's not entertainment. That's straight-up censorship disguised as a talk show. If Kimmel was really confident in his opinions, he would have invited Stallone on and let people hear both sides.
Absolute prick. I can't stand him. But anyway, it's just my...
Kimmel even had a meltdown, which the Megyn Kelly shed light on too.
He's going to wreck everything and wreck America. He's terrible. He's a fascist. He's a neo-Nazi. Blah, 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 blah.
Instead, he did the safe thing. Took a shot from a distance and then pretended it didn't happen when the backlash started. That's not someone who wants to have a conversation. That's someone who wants control. And this isn't the first. Time Kimmel has done this. He has a history of avoiding guests who don't fit Hollywood's approved message. He only brings on celebrities who think like him,